everyone, Karen Roby here for Tech Republic. Happy today to be joined by Vikas Shete. He is with Cap Gemini, and we're going to be talking about trucking, logistics, and the use of AI. Thanks for being with me here today.
Hey, thanks, Karen. Thanks for the invitation.
Absolutely. We talk about AI all the time here for Tech Republic. We're always writing articles about different ways it's being used, concerns with AI, everything. But we haven't talked much about it in terms of trucking, obviously logistics. So we do discuss a lot. Talk a little bit about, before we get into some of the ways it will help, talk about AI in general. Has it been used much in your industry, and how the pandemic is bringing it along more?
Sure. So AI in general, if I talk about logistic overall, it has been used right from the planning phase to the last mile delivery. Uh, Within this entire section, like just to give you an example, in planning space for demand forecasting, or to find a particular trend like around weather and all based on which the business runs. So all those trends for that AI has been used extensively. Some of the new trends which we are seeing, if I have to say specific to trucking and logistic, it's like the last mile delivery using AI drones, which is still in a very early stage, but there will be a adoption in near future. There will be a much bigger adoption for that. And the other part is like warehouse automation. A lot of big players in the market have already started using robots and all for for as part of the AI thing. Uh, Now coming back, shifting gear to adoption rate specific to trucking and logistic, there has been a slow adoption pre-COVID, I would say, and the main reason for that is the value or the ROI was not justifiable for that industry. In addition to that, the skill shortage and all, in combination, they had seen that the adoption for AI was not to a level it could be adopted. But things have drastically changed post COVID. COVID was a lot of disruption. Like if I have to give you an example of pre-COVID thing, the data was very much static, I would say. When I say static, it means like s- based on my tribal knowledge, there was some prediction I can make. But post-COVID, there was a drastic change because there was a behavior change in shipper and consignee. There was a focus more on the essential goods. So the shipment, the pickup and shipment delivery sites were changing due to pandemic. Based on the rate of infection in certain areas, the deliveries were not. So this created a lot of disruption within the industry, and the industry was not ready for picking this disruption. But what we have seen is like there was a quick transfer or transformation to digital transactions and all, touchless shipment and all. And that has now, we can see that there will be a faster adoption of AI in trucking post COVID actually. Or I can say when we are near to the new normal.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
As we're working through this new normal now. So, talk a little bit about, specifically within trucking, the AI helping. Is it with more with planning routes, or how will that really help again move the industry forward?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So Ken, one thing which the industry realized very quickly was like there was a fluctuation in demand and the resource shortage that create a need for operational efficiency. So one of the area which is heavy manual today is the freight billing area. Though we are using OCR and all, that is optical character recognition tools and all, but OCR coupled with AI, the benefit has been doubled. Or even if you take a standalone AI where image recognition, natural language processing, all those concepts can be used, it has seen that there is a huge productivity benefit, and that's where one of the adoption we will very soon see in near future, more and more trucking companies adopting that AI for that space. Then the second one, which you just mentioned about, is the route optimization. So as I was mentioning that the disruption that caused due to pandemic, uh, the shipment be and the shipper and the consignee delivery behaviors changed, and which created an efficient route requirement for much flexibility in creating an efficient route and all, which in turn gives a benefit in terms of reduction in shipping cost, a better customer experience. So route optimization is one key area. And one more important thing about route optimization is that uh, there are a lot of data points which comes in the system, and today not entire data is used to build those intelligence. And that's where in terms of route optimization and all, which is also one of the critical piece within the entire ecosystem of this trucking and logistic, that's where AI will come into picture. And we will slowly see a lot of adoption of AI getting accelerated, especially in trucking and logistic business in these key areas. In addition to this, there are other areas also. Just to give you an example, one of the revenue leakage areas within trucking and logistics areas are like the damage that has been caused. And sometimes it becomes difficult to gauge those damage and all. But using AI image capabilities and those processing, there can be easily detection done on the level of damage and all without too much of manual back and forth and all those stuff. So that's one adoption area. The other thing is like the sales team. Okay, the sales team needs to be provided with the right tool and all for in this competitive market with, as I said, correct, the focus change all of a sudden from non-essential goods to essential goods. So sales teams had to focus more on customers providing this essential goods and all. So with help of AI and all, using the historic data and all, uh, that intelligence can be provided to the sales team so they can focus more on the right prospects. So those are few areas where we see there will be adoption. These are just few areas, but there are more areas, as I said at the start of my discussion, like the warehouse automation and last mile delivery using AI drones. So those are some future technologies which will be used in combination with AI.
And before I let you go here, do you in terms of the groups that you all work within and the industries, I know trucking saying that they've been slow, that industry has been slow to adopt AI. On the flip side of that, is there an industry you can pinpoint that has been much quicker to adopt AI and seen results because of that?
Yeah, in the entire supply chain model and all, correct, means trucking is coming to the tail end and all, but the initial phase, like the warehouse managements, or if we talk about the initial planning, so those are some players who have initially adopted it very well. And also outside of this SCM and all, financial sectors and all, those areas have also adopted AI much faster than any other areas.
All right, very good. Vikas, I certainly appreciate you being here with us today. And for much more on AI and what you need to know, make sure you stick with Tech Republic and ZB
Sure.
Live.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Karen.